Hello and welcome to your favorite weekly program on science and technology, Science Monitor. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor. Before we move ahead, let us have a look at the highlights. Two Indian origin scientists awarded the highest mathematics awards. A novel climate model ready to improve the accuracy of monsoon forecast. Lung-damaging bacteria use antibodies to aid infection, says new study. Year 2015-16 declared as the Water Conservation Year. The first jellyfish lake in India discovered in Gujarat. And in today's In Focus, we will discuss why the use of antibiotics in animals and vegetables can be harmful to us. And now news in details. The highest awards in the field of mathematics were announced in the recently held 9-day International Congress of Mathematicians in Seoul. 8 mathematicians were honoured with the International Mathematical Union Awards, of which 2 winners, Dr. Manjul Bhargav and Dr. Subhash Khote, are of Indian origin. We present you a report.
In an announcement that makes the nation proud, 2 mathematicians of Indian origin, Dr. Manjul Bhargava and Dr. Subhash Khote, have been awarded the prestigious International Mathematical Union Awards. Dr. Bhargava, a number theorist from Princeton University, and Dr. Khote, a theoretical computer scientist at the Courant Institute of Mathematical Sciences of New York University, are among the 8 winners of the esteemed awards. The awards were announced earlier this week at the inauguration of the 9th Day International Congress of Mathematicians in Seoul, Republic of Korea. The awards were presented by the Honorable President of Korea, Park Geun-hye. The International Congress of Mathematicians is held every 4 years, and traditionally, the International Mathematical Union Awards are presented at this event. The awards include the Fields Medal, the highest award in mathematics, the Rolf Nevanlinna Prize, the Carl Friedrich Gauss Prize, the Chern Medal and the Leelavati Prize. Dr. Manjul Bhargava was awarded the Fields Medal for his contributions toward the development of powerful new methods in the geometry of numbers and their application to count rings of small rank and to bind the average rank of elliptic curves. The other 3 Fields medalists include the Brazilian mathematician Arthur Avila, the British mathematician Martin Heyrer, and the Iranian mathematician Maryam Mirzakhani. Maryam Mirzakhani, a professor at Stanford University, is the first woman ever to win the top prize in mathematics. Dr. Subhash Khote has been awarded the ICM 2014 Rolf Nevanlinna Prize for his outstanding contribution to mathematical aspects of information sciences. Dr. Subhash Khote is known for his work in the field of unique games problem, efficient approximation of optimization problems, algorithmic design and approximation hardness, and new exciting interactions between computational complexity, analysis and geometry. The ICM 2014 Gauss Prize was awarded to Stanley Osher of University of California for his contribution to several fields in applied mathematics, while the Chern Medal this time was awarded to American algebraic geometer Philip Griffiths for the development of transcendental methods in complex geometry. The ICM 2014 Leelavati Prize, sponsored by Infosys for outstanding public outreach work in mathematics, has been given to the Argentine Adrian Paenza for his contribution towards popularizing mathematics.
And in a major step towards improving the accuracy of monsoon forecast, the Earth Ministry along with major ESSO institutions under the National Monsoon Mission have built a robust ocean atmospheric climate model that can even predict rains 15 days in advance.
In a major step towards improving the accuracy of monsoon forecasts, the National Monsoon Mission initiative is aiming to build a robust climate model. Institutions of Earth System Science Organization, namely the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, Indian Meteorological Department, Indian National Centre for Ocean Information Services and the National Centre for Medium Range Weather Forecasting will be contributing under this mission. These institutions will build a state-of-the-art coupled ocean atmospheric climate model for improved prediction of monsoon rainfall on extended range to seasonal time and improved prediction of temperature, rainfall and extreme weather events on short to medium range time scale. This will help improve the accuracy of predictions and forecast skills for operational services of Earth System Science Organization. This was stated by Union Minister of State for Science and Technology and Ministry of Earth Sciences Dr. Jitendra Singh in a written reply in Rajya Sabha. One of the implementation agreements, Dynamical Seasonal Prediction of Indian Summer Monsoon Rainfall, was signed during the visit of President Obama in November 2010, under which Indian and US scientists are working jointly on seasonal forecast. In this context, the National Centre for Medium Range Weather Forecasting is working in collaboration with UK on improving the adopted unified model for flawless prediction of monsoon rainfall forecasts in the temporal ranges, including extreme weather phenomena. The monsoon forecast for 2013 based on this model was 104 to 108% of low pressure area and observed rainfall was 106% of low pressure area. The forecast for 2014 was 96% of low pressure area.
Research now reveals that antibodies of the human system may actually increase the risk of infection. The study has been done by scientists from University of Birmingham on bronchiectasis patients who, despite normal amount of antibodies, failed to fight Pseudomonas aeruginosa infection. More in this report.
A breakthrough research now reveals that antibodies, the protectors of the human system from pathogens, may actually increase the possibility of infection. The study has been reported in the Journal of Experimental Medicine by scientists from University of Birmingham. The study is based on the observation done on bronchitis patients. During the usual process of immune response, whenever a foreign body or a disease-causing microbe enters our body, specific Y-shaped proteins called antibodies are produced. These antibodies bind to the pathogens and serve as a signal. The other immune cells follow these signals and arrive at the destination and destroy the pathogens bound to the antibody. But in a recent study conducted on a set of patients suffering from bronchiectasis, it was seen that the lung-damaging bacteria may use these antibodies to escape being killed by immune cells. Bronchiectasis refers to a lung disorder that results in permanent enlargement of parts of the airways of the lungs. As a result, the lungs become prone to colonization by bacteria like Pseudomonas aeruginosa, which cause lung damage. While Pseudomonas aeruginosa is known to be resistant to many kinds of antibodies, it was also observed that many bronchiectasis patients with a normal amount of antibodies in their blood are also unable to fight Pseudomonas aeruginosa infection. It was seen that Pseudomonas aeruginosa has extra long sugar molecule chains on their surface. The antibodies, especially a type of antibody called IgG2 produced by the human immune system, bind to these sugar molecules. While under usual condition, this binding serves as a signal to activate the killing of the pathogen, here the antibody IgG2 binding to the sugar molecule is at such high density that it forms a physical barrier between the bacterial cell surface and the antibacterial immune cells in the blood. Thus, the bacteria effectively use the antibody as a protective shield against being identified and killed. According to the researchers, the finding can have serious implications in the field of vaccine development. One of the vaccine development strategies involves the use of sugar coating of bacteria to induce immune response. The results from this research shows that use of sugar molecules from bacteria like Pseudomonas aeruginosa to induce immunity may actually generate more of the blocking IgG2 antibodies, which will protect the bacteria instead of building immunity against infection.
Coastal erosion in Indian coast is increasing, says the results of a study published by the National Centre for Sustainable Coastal Management, Chennai, and Institute of Ocean Management, Anna University. The study involves the assessment of the Indian shoreline for a period of 38 years that reveals that 40% of the Indian coast is subjected to coastal erosion.
A new study conducted by the Ministry of Environment and Forests through the National Centre for Sustainable Coastal Management, Chennai, and Institute of Ocean Management, Anna University reveals that 40% of the Indian coast is subjected to coastal erosion. The study was called the Assessment of Shoreline Change for the entire coast of mainland India, extending from Gujarat in the west coast to the West Bengal in the east coast. The researchers involved in the study assessed the shoreline change for a period of 38 years from 1972 to 2010. Accordingly, the coastline of India has been classified into high, medium and low erosion stretches as well as stable coastline stretches. The study has revealed that on an average, around 40% of the Indian coast is subjected to coastal erosion, either high, medium or low.
And a team of researchers from the Wildlife Trust of India, led by Dr. B.C. Chaudhary, have discovered India's first jellyfish lake. The lake, discovered in a small town called Armabada in Gujarat, has a dense population of a special species of jellyfish called the upside-down jellyfish. More in this report.
India is a rich marine resource with many diverse species of aquatic organisms living in its seas and freshwater resources like lakes and rivers. Adding to this rich biodiversity, a team of researchers from the Wildlife Trust of India have discovered India's first jellyfish lake. The team of marine biologists led by Dr. B.C. Chaudhary has discovered this lake in a small town called Armabada in Gujarat. The researchers found that it has a dense population of a particular type of jellyfish called the upside-down jellyfish, particularly in 5 to 6 hectares at the bottom of the lake. The upside-down jellyfish, known so as they swim upside down unlike others, harbor photosynthetic algae called zooxanthellae on their bottom side and share a symbiotic relationship with the algae. Hence, these jellyfishes position themselves on their bottom side to receive maximum sunlight for their algal partner. The scientists say that the abundance of jellyfish in this lake is due to low predation by other aquatic animals. The concentration of jellyfish is so high that they can be seen from the lake surface during low tide and when the water is clear. Another unique feature of the lake is that these jellyfish are present all around the year, unlike other places where they are reported to be seasonal. While jellyfish are found in different parts of coastal India, they are seen rarely in lakes. This is the first jellyfish lake to have been found in India.
Year 2015-16 will be observed as Water Conservation Year in the country. The announcement has been made by Union Water Resources and River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation Minister Uma Bharti. We present you a report.
The Union Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation Minister Sushri Uma Bharti has announced that the year 2015-16 will be observed as Water Conservation Year in the country. The announcement was made during the inauguration and international seminar on water risk and water stewardship in New Delhi. The focus of observing Water Conservation Year will be to launch a public movement for conservation of water and rivers in the country. This is critical for solving the issues concerning scarcity of safe and clean water. Under this program, officials of the Union Water Resource Ministry are to be deputed in every district of the country to supervise the proceedings. The minister has called for the cooperation of state governments, NGOs, civil society, youth and retired personnel in the context. The media discussions during the event also focused on the viability of interlinking of rivers in the country, steps for locating the extinct Saraswati River and Ganga Rejuvenation Program.
And now it is time for a short break. We'll be back. Keep watching Science Monitor. Welcome back. After the break, you're watching Science Monitor. The media has recently been abuzz with shocking reports of abuse of antibiotics and hormone-containing drugs to increase the yield of animals and crops. The excess use of antibiotics and hormones not only affect the plants and animals, but also adversely impact the health of human beings who consume them. What are the effects of consuming such contaminated vegetable and animal products? We'll discuss in our special segment In Focus.
The chicken that you devour so delightfully, the vegetables you consume, the milk you drink to keep your bones strong, or for that matter honey that you keep at home for its medicinal value may actually be laced with harmful chemicals. This is because chemicals are in frequent use so that chicken grow fast and big, cows produce more milk, honeybees make large amount of honey and vegetables increase in size much more than in normal conditions. It has now come to light that these chemicals are a threat to human health. One issue that is bothering health agencies world over is contribution of these chemicals to antibiotic resistance. Antibiotics are among the chemicals being used as growth promoters by animals and vegetable growers. Antibiotics are otherwise drugs used to fight and kill bugs which cause diseases like typhoid and tuberculosis in humans. However, if disease-causing bugs are exposed to low doses of an antibiotic, they change themselves and become resistant to that particular drug. This can happen when these bacteria in animals are exposed to antibiotics through feed. These resistant bacteria may then get transmitted to humans when such animals or their milk is consumed by humans. Bacteria present in human beings may also be exposed to antibiotics and become resistant when human consume chicken laced with antibiotics. In a study by the Center for Science and Environment, 40% of chicken samples lifted from Delhi NCR region were found to have antibiotics. Of the 70 samples tested, 17% samples had residues of more than one antibiotic. What is of concern is that the antibiotics included in the study, oxytetracycline, chlortetracycline, doxycycline, enrofloxacin, ciprofloxacin, are those widely used in humans to treat infections. This means humans may gradually become resistant to these antibiotics if they consume chicken contaminated with these. There are no standards for antibiotics in chicken in India. Industry players are, however, claiming that antibiotic residues in chicken are well below international standards. Earlier, honey samples lifted from Delhi in July 2009 by the same organization were also found to be contaminated with antibiotics. Honeybees are artificially fed sugar syrup with antibiotics to prevent and control infections and to promote growth and increase honey production. Samples were tested for oxytetracycline, chloramphenicol, ampicillin, erythromycin, eurofloxacin and ciprofloxacin. According to Indian Food Regulatory Authority, honey should be free of antibiotics. Since there is threat of bacteria becoming resistant, WHO recommends that antibiotics which are licensed as medicines for humans should not be used as growth promoters in animals. Long-term exposure of human beings to antibiotics through food may also have other adverse health effects. For instance, exposure to oxytetracycline can lead to blood disorders and liver injury. In addition to antibiotics, chemicals called hormones are also being used to promote growth. Though hormones are produced inside human body, introduction of their artificial form through food is known to damage health. Some scientists say their long-term impact is not even known. Oxytocin is one such hormone whose artificial form is being widely used as growth promoter in vegetable sector. It is injected in pumpkin, watermelon, brinjal, bottle gourd and cucumber to make them bigger in size. The issue was highlighted about 2 years back by none other than the Minister of State in Union Government, Dinesh Trivedi. Oxytocin is also injected to animals in dairies to enhance milk production. Milk or food laced with oxytocin may lead to decreased heart rate and brain damage in fetus. Though oxytocin is a Schedule H drug in the country, which means it cannot be bought or sold without a prescription, its use is widespread. In its natural form, oxytocin has a role in labor and causes milk to be ejected from breast during lactation. Seeing all these health hazards on human, it is very urgent and important to take some serious measures to control the situation.
And what are the contributions of science to this week's history? We shall learn in our next segment from the pages of history.
On August 25, 1900 was born the famous biochemist Hans Adolf Krebs. Krebs received the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for discovering the vitamin C cycle in 1953. This is also known as the Krebs cycle. This cycle expresses the series of chemical expressions that show how food particles break down into carbohydrates, water and calories. Apart from this, Krebs had also deciphered the urea cycle. French scientist Antoine Laurent Lavoisier was born on August 25, 1743. The sole credit of segregating alchemy from chemistry as a branch of knowledge goes to him. Lavoisier is most noted for his discovery of the role oxygen plays in combustion. He organized and named oxygen and hydrogen. He disapproved the phlogiston theory, which was universally accepted in his time. On August 27, 1910, the famous American scientist Thomas Alva Edison first exhibited his discovery, the kinetophone. He developed many devices that greatly influenced life around the world, including the phonograph, the motion picture camera, and a long-lasting practical electric light bulb. The famous Indian scientist M.G.K. Menon was born on August 28, 1928. While in the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Bombay, Menon had been the first Indian scientist to start the high-altitude balloon program. He undertook experiments with cosmic rays to explore the properties of fundamental particles. On August 30, 1871 was born the famous British physicist Ernst Rutherford. The world of nuclear physics was born out of his researches and papers. He was the first to decipher the decay or the system of half-life of alpha, gamma and beta rays. He was the first person to have talked about neutron as clearly as in 1920.
Let us now have a look at some important science and technology activities happening in India and abroad in Science Express.
Union Minister for Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation Sushri Uma Bharati stressed the need for more research to locate Vedic Saraswati River. She suggested information of a core group of scientists, archaeologists and research scholars to fulfill this task and to carry out an integrated study to get the information like historical and archaeological records, hydrogeological, sedimentological, drilling and geochronological data. During the program, scientists from Regional Remote Sensing Center, Department of Space, Jodhpur gave a detailed PowerPoint presentation on the existence of extinct Saraswati. The Vedic Saraswati has been linked to the Himalayan rivers like Yamuna in the east and Satluj in the west. Radiometric ages of river sediments suggest that the age of Vedic Saraswati river may be as old as 28,000 years. The river was believed to have flourished during 8000 to 5000 BC. The course of the river and reasons for its disappearance had been debated for a long time, necessitating a fresh look through latest available technology. In a step towards creating child health awareness, a music video on child health and immunization called Phool Khil Jayenge has been launched recently. The video has been created by Global Health Strategies in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Famous film and music industry personalities like Vidya Balan, Farhan Akhtar, Javed Akhtar, Shabana Azmi, Sonu Nigam and Lalit Pandit along with the Health Secretary Love Verma and the Mission Director C.K. Mishra are featured in the video. During the launch, Dr. Harshvardhan, Union Minister for Health and Family Welfare, called upon the people to become health sanics and work for a healthy nation. In what can be called an astronomical feat, a team of researchers from the University of Maryland, including the Indian origin graduate student Dheeraj Pasham, have accurately measured and confirmed the existence of an elusive black hole. The newly discovered intermediate mass black hole is 400 times the mass of our Sun and is in a galaxy called Messier 82, which is 12 million light-years from the Earth. The intermediate mass black hole like this are hard to detect, and this is the first time that such black hole has been so precisely measured. The black hole dubbed as M82X1 has been detected by mapping and analyzing the intensity and wavelength of X-rays emitted. As the water levels in Kaziranga National Park is slowly rising with floodwater from the Brahmaputra River, the animals in search of dry shelters have started moving to higher lands in the hills of Karbi Anglong. In this context, the Forest Department and park authorities are taking high precautions to ensure the safety of the animals crossing the national highway. Flood awareness meetings on saving the wildlife in crisis are also being conducted in the villages near Kaziranga and around the foothills of Karbi Anglong. Mr. Rajan Anandan, Managing Director, Google India, has said that by the end of year 2014, number of Indian internet users will be more than the US. According to him, by 2018, India will have around 500 million internet users. That will be twice the number of internet users as the US does. While addressing Digitizing India, organized by FICCI, ladies organization, he said that Indians are increasingly using online platform for retail purchases and that wearable gadgets are likely to be next big technology.
And that is all for this episode of Science Monitor. Do tell us, how do you like our program? You can send your feedback and suggestions. Our email ID is news@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write into us at Vigyan Prasar, C24, Khutub Institutional Area, New Delhi 110016. That is all for today. We'll be back with fresh stories on science and technology again next week. Till then, take care and bye-bye.